up, everybody? Welcome to episode 200 of the Dense Pixels podcast. I am your host, Brad, joined by my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
Man.
It's fucking hot. It's very hot right now. So I might be a little angrier than I usually am. Because good God, it's 90-something degrees out here. Ugh.
It is very hot in Baltimore today. That's for sure.
It's not all that great. But anyway.
But we're celebrating 200 episodes.
Yo, 200 episodes, man.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's well over 200 hours.
Oh, well over 200 hours.
For you people. Because we love you.
Yeah,
unlike those other shows.
And you giving us no 5-star reviews for it.
It has been a while. But listen, before we get into the show, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much to anyone listening to this, especially a special thank you to those of you that are in our fan group, because you are our most ardent fans, and thank you to those of you that have been here since the beginning, that can remember when Jack was a host, that can remember when we recorded from the luxurious studio apartment that Micah used to live in back in the day. And that remember all that stuff. You guys are the reason we do this. We really appreciate it. And I'll let these guys speak for themselves. But from me, thank you all very much for what you've done for us and getting us to this point.
We really deserve it. And, no, this is something that we just kind of we wanted to do this because we used to have a video game segment on the Apocalypse way back in the day when it was myself and Jay and Matthew, and occasionally Terrence would come on, and I would want Terrence to come on so that I could talk about video games, because Matthew's experience with video games was Skylanders, because that's what his son played, and Jay's experience with video games has to do with Lego or Batman or Lego and Batman, and that's it. So every time I would talk about a video game, it would be, me just talking to a wall. Like I wouldn't even get a reaction. Like that's the most insulting thing, right? Like I'm here talking about something, and then they're just like, science and tech. Like, all right. God damn it. So yes, this is great. Thank you, gentlemen, for doing this for so long. Thank you, Brad, for keeping Terrence and I on track. Thank you, Terrence, for really just not giving a damn. like we all got shirts because of it. So, and I'd like to thank myself because I'm fucking awesome. So, but no, we really appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
I guess it's my turn. Yeah. 200 episodes. I remember the first episode. Well, not the first episode of this. I remember the first time I was asked to be on the show for the video game segment. I believe I talked about fucking Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
I think you
if
did.
I'm not mistaken, and it was on the Vita. You brought it over. Someone had it on Vita. You brought it over, some shit like that. That was terrible. But yeah, we've been doing this for 4 years.
4.5.
4.5 years, man. 200 episodes. And again, like they said, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for the fans that still don't give us 5-star reviews. I'm still going to hold that against you guys because we do this every week. But yeah, if it weren't for you guys, like I said, we wouldn't be here. And we really, all three of us would really appreciate it. And we hope to do 200 more episodes if I give a fuck about games by then. Because I might not. Because I'm just old and black. I just really am. And it's really fucking hot in here. But no, seriously, we do thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. It's I never thought I'd be doing this, but here I am on like 12 different shows, just talking to the people. It's great. It's fun. I enjoy it.
So we teased some announcements for this episode. So a couple of them you already know about, because as you listened on your way in, you heard new theme music. We have brand new theme music that we can actually use without worrying about getting a copyright strike against us on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube is fucked up now, man. Like, they just catch you for any little thing. They're being a bunch of bitches.
That's how they roll. So
a bunch of bitches, YouTube.
So for those of you that enjoyed Stacked Actors and the Scott Pilgrim song at the end, sorry, you're not going to get that anymore. But we hope you enjoyed the new music that we picked out.
I have a confession to make. I never liked that music.
That's fair.
I never liked either one of those songs.
Really?
That's correct.
I did. I mean, like, that might be the confession, guys. Confession. The sky is blue. I just didn't know if you guys knew that.
Well.
I was instructed before we started this to pick songs, so that's what I did.
Anyway.
You can actually thank my wife for Stacked Actors. She was the one that did that in the first place. But we have new music. It's a Foo Fighters song.
Which song is that? The beginning of the end one?
Yeah, the beginning.
Oh. Okay.
But anyway, so that's gone. We have some new music that was selected by us, and by us I mostly mean Mike and Terrence. They were the ones that voted for that particular song that you heard, but I like it too. So it's all good. You saw new. Some of you might be watching this on YouTube. That's right. We are going to have our podcast posted on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/DensPixels every single week. So if you prefer to check us out on there, you certainly can. Make sure you subscribe while you're here. We have some new video graphics in front of that, and we are currently working on a new logo. So gone will be the logo that we've used for pretty much the majority of our 200 episode run. We don't have that quite yet. It's being designed as we speak, but you guys will get to see that in a few weeks. And then most importantly, we are actually adding a new show to the mix as well. So Dense Pixels is still going to come to you every single week. That's not going to change. It's still going to be free. That's not going to change. This show's still going to be what it is with the three of us and occasionally Carrie. But what is going to change is once a month, we are going to have a new premium podcast. And that podcast is going to be called Dense Pixels Bonus Round. And that is going to be a show where it is not going to be a current events related show. It's not going to have anything to do with the current news or the stories of the day. What it'll be is a roundtable discussion. Every time we do an episode, we're going to pick a topic, and we're just going to talk about that topic with a rotating panel of guests. So you might not see me every episode of this. You might not see Micah every episode of this. You might not see Terrence every episode of this. You might see Carrie occasionally. You might see Jack occasionally. You might see Jay occasionally. You might see Demetrius occasionally. Who knows?
You won't see Jay.
unless we do a Lego or Batman themed episode. That's the only way. Or if we do a GoldenEye themed episode, so Jay can talk about the time that he embarrassed Micah playing GoldenEye. So we don't have firm details on when the first episode of that is going to be dropping, but we will let you know as soon as we do. We just want to let you know that's happening. And if you are not a premium member, never a better time than to go to densepixels.com/premium and sign up for $5 a month or $50 a year, because now we have given you another show that you might be interested in on the TNP Studios Premium Network. So that was our announcements. And again, thank you once again for everyone who's listening. Now let us get to the show proper, and Micah can talk about Prey.
Yeah. I got Prey. It is a first-person shooter from Arcane Studios. I remember a while ago, Terrence said that he found that Prey was kind of boring in the first couple of hours. And look, Terrence, I don't know what to tell you other than you're absolutely right. I can't. It's a slow burn, man. Like, it starts out pretty slow. It starts out very interesting, but it's a slow burn. Like, you aren't this ain't Doom. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just jump right in and start shooting shit.
Yeah,
because they're trying to build a story. I only played it for about an hour because.
Oh, so you played the most boring part.
Right, right. So I'll have to go back to it, but it does seem very, very interesting. So look, it's not it's not high up on my list for things to play, especially because like it's one of those games where it's one of those first-person shooters where you can literally pick up anything, and I don't like that because I have OCD, so I will want to pick up everything for fear that if I don't pick it up, I will lose out on the opportunity to go back and get whatever it is that I might need. And look, I'll be honest with you, it's kind of scary.
Okay.
And I don't do scary.
Yo,
I
are
don't
you
do scary.
serious?
I don't do scary. Nope. Sorry. Those little mimic things that pop out of coffee cans and shit. Nah, man. I'm not dealing with that. I got time for that. I'm too old and too black to be dealing with shit that jump out and scare you.
Okay. Yeah, it was just like did it compel you to continue? Like, do you want to finish?
It didn't really compel me, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, I don't care, right? Like, it's interesting, but I think it would be more interesting if it was like a film. Like, I'm interested, but I don't feel like going through the motions of it, which is, and kind of the same way with Dishonored. Like, isn't that another Arcane Studios production?
It is.
Yes.
Same thing, man. Like, it has a very interesting premise, but it feels like it's going to be a slog to get through. And I understand, Dishonored is this critically acclaimed game and all that, but it just, for some reason, it wasn't for me. Maybe I'm just a dummy, which I'm, I understand. But it didn't, it's not doing it for me. Like, I will go back to it when I have nothing else to play.
Which is probably not going to be for a while, I would imagine.
Right, and I don't have shit to play now. So it's once I get tired of Marvel Heroes, then I'll go back to it.
So never is what you're basically saying, really.
So
well, let's pivot from a very scary game to a game that is decidedly unscary and action-packed. And that is Terrence's playing of Resident Evil 6.
Yo, so the game became one of the games with the Xbox. What do they call it? The not free play. The pass. Yeah, I still have that, and it's not being charged to my card. I checked.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive.
Seems like
I looked. I'm like, I didn't sign up for this shit. I signed up for the free trial, and apparently I still have the free trial. Because it hasn't been charged to my card. So, but that was one of the games that they added last week. I downloaded it, and I had never played it before. Yo, that fucking game starts at 100. Like, it literally, like, you're in the middle of like a bombed out city, and you got to help this woman into an alley, and just chaos. You're running from fucking helicopters, and planes are crashing into buildings, and then the title screen pops up. Like, what's the prologue? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I was about to say, don't you also get to see President Evil in the first part of the game?
Right.
He's the president, and he's a zombie.
And he's like, please don't make me do this. And you shoot the president in the head. And then, yo, it's like the movies.
It is. It really is like the movies. And that is not necessarily a good thing, in my opinion.
It's not a Resident Evil game at all. Like, it really isn't. It's like a very action-packed third-person shooter, which and you know what? As stupid as that game is, I kind of enjoy it. Like,
how many rocks have you beat up with your bare fists so far in the game?
None, but I power bombed a zombie. Like, you can bulldog zombies, you can drop kick them. You can smash their head in the windows.
So you picked Chris, I take it.
No, I picked Leon. Well, he
Leon.
does like spin kicks and shit like that.
Yeah, Leon is the karate guy.
He's
Chris
the
is the
finesse guy.
force guy, and I forget what Jake's like style is. I think he's like a luchador or some shit like that.
They fucking literally, like, the prompts showed, hey, you can just fucking powerbomb a zombie. Like,
so you're telling me it literally says power bomb on the screen?
It'll prompt you to. I don't know if that's what it says, but I was just kicking zombies in the face and like smashing their heads in the windowsills and bulldogging them all over the place. Like it's better to just do all of that. Waste save your goddamn ammunition, of which there's plenty.
Oh yeah, like there's no more survival horror anymore.
Right.
Like this is just a again horror shooting gallery.
Yeah, it's literally like the bullets are just littered across the fucking everywhere. Like you turn a corner, there's ammunition. Like, all right, fool, fine. You have like 200 rounds, and you don't even need them. You shoot them in the leg, and then you can just power bomb them.
I'll never understand how that series lost its way in terms of just how the gameplay was until they figured it out with this most recent edition.
New one.
Yeah,
I mean, the funny thing is the controls are really solid in the game.
I don't believe you. It's a Resident Evil game.
Exactly. Like it's a solid third-person shooter to the point where you can actually aim. You couldn't do that in any other Resident Evil games, but it's insane. It was free. I don't think I'm gonna finish it. There's like you can play 4 different people, and it's co-op throughout the entire game.
Go out throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
No matter who you pick.
Yeah.
I finished that game. I enjoyed it.
It's fucking fun, man.
Because it wasn't scary, right? Like it was fucking it was fun, man. Like it's you and a buddy just rolling around fucking bulldogging zombies, man. Like whatever. And 2 of the people are, like fan favorites. So yeah, I finished it. It was one of the few Resident Evil games that I did finish. The other one was Resident Evil 5. Like this shit is fun, man. It really is.
Like, and the funny thing that I found was when you the whole plant system. Like, first of all, that's still really fucking dumb. Like red, yellow, and green plants make herbs and whatever. But you create them and you put them in like a pill case.
Yeah.
So you're grinding up plants and you're popping pills.
Yeah.
I found a plant in a Humvee in the beginning. I'm like, who the fuck carries plants in a Humvee? That doesn't make any sense. This game is dumb, but it's fun.
People in Raccoon City. That's who.
Yeah, that's how they heal themselves. They put plants in a spray can, and they heal themselves by spraying each other. That's really bizarre, but that's Resident Evil and Capcom for you. It's a fun game though. Like if you have that pass, just download it. It's worth a download.
Well, there's really not much else to play this week. It's kind of a barren week for new releases. The summer dog days, a summer kind of week. There are no new retail releases, weirdly enough. There's a few happenings on the digital side of things though. So there's a game called That's You. That's free for PlayStation Plus subscribers on PSN. This is, I believe, from the same folks that did Until Dawn. And this is the first in their PlayLink series of games, which are like social games that you only need one controller for to play, and everyone else can like use their cell phone and link into the game that way. So there's a series of these that they've planned. The most notable one from E3 is this game called Hidden Agenda, which is going to be coming out. But like I said, That's You is free if you are a PlayStation Plus Gold subscriber until at least mid-October, if I'm not mistaken. So I might download this just because I can. For all that. As far as other digital stuff goes, Microsoft's last week started their Ultimate Game Sale, which is this is an annual sale that they do, right? Summer sale.
Yeah.
Where you can get up to 65% off a lot of really good games. The sale runs through July 10th. Couple notables, and this is for gold members: 25% off Injustice 2, 35% off Ghost Recon, Mass Effect Andromeda for half off, the Morrowind expansion for ESO, 33% off, 40% off of For Honor, 40% off Rocket League. There's a lot of games. There's over 300 titles that are involved in this Ultimate Game Sale. Forza 6, 75% off for like the Ultimate Edition, which is the most recent Forza Motorsport game. There's a lot. So if you have an Xbox One or Xbox 360, I bet you there's some 360 games too. Certainly check that out.
I might get Resident Evil 5 again. I really like that.
You're so sad. It's such a sad
fun game, man. It's actually really fun. I enjoy that game.
I played the demo for that game. It Didn't catch me. Didn't catch me. New month also means new games on the Xbox Live Games with Gold and PlayStation Plus. So Xbox One owners will get Grow Up, which is the follow-up to the critically acclaimed Grow Home. That's free all month long if you have an Xbox One. July 16th to August 15th, Runbow, which is a multiplayer platform game, also critically acclaimed when it came out on the Wii U, is now coming to Xbox One. That's free from July 16th to August 15th. If you have an Xbox One or an Xbox 360, you can also get Kane and Lynch 2 for free for the first half of July, and Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, a game that my wife 100%ed for the back half of July. She did. Got me I think she did it on Xbox, unfortunately, so I didn't get a platinum trophy. I just got 1,000 gamer score that I didn't need.
What's it like to have a significant other that likes the stuff that you like?
It's awesome. Fantastic.
Oh.
And then PlayStation Plus. You see, you just have to find a game that she can play. That's all.
Nah, she'll humor me, and then she'll be like, "All right, I'm done with this."
There's a game out there for everybody. I guarantee.
Yeah,
I guarantee. You just gotta find it. Sometimes it's tougher than others, but you can track it down. For PlayStation, a couple story-driven games. The aforementioned Until Dawn is actually free on PS4 this month, as is the Game of Thrones Telltale series. So you get both of the full games for that. If you have a PS3, Tokyo Jungle and Darkstalkers Resurrection are both free. And if you have a PS4, you can also get the PlayStation Vita game Don't Die, Mr. Robot, because that is a cross-buy title.
These Xbox Live titles fucking suck this month.
Yeah, they do.
Like, I played a little bit of Grow Up. I don't get it. And Runbow looks, we'll see. Kane and Lynch 2 is not good, and the other game is, yeah, none of these are good. What is the other one? Oh, Lego Pirates. I don't like Lego games.
It's a Lego game. Like if you like that, you know what you're getting into. Until Dawn is definitely worth picking up for those of you that are inclined to like that sort of thing.
I'll play Until Dawn.
No, you won't. Shut up.
Sure, I will. I'll play it. Because it's like people die in horrific. Like, I like watching people die, right? Like, I don't like being scared. I don't want to die.
But you will be scared because it's your characters that could die.
Yeah, but I can't. It's different, right? It's different. Whereas, and I tried. Look, I picked a female character for Prey, right? Because I need to distance myself completely from anything that could, have me relate to that character. Because when the scary shit happens, I don't want to be like, oh, that's me. Like, no, it's not me. It's some Asian woman named Morgan. So whatever, right? But it's different because it's first person and those mimics are coming at me. Whereas if I'm controlling Hayden Panettiere, I don't give a damn if some lunatic runs a machete through her chest or something like that. Like, it's look, it's part of the deal, man.
Did you ever play those Saw games?
I didn't play the Saw games because they looked terrible. I just rewatched the kills from all the Saws. I figured that would be more entertaining than playing the Saw games.
Because you were the most ardent fan of that franchise that I know.
So. Oh, I love it. It's awesome. It's not an awesome franchise. It's a franchise that's awesome at killing people in stupid ways. Like a carousel that when it stops, it shoots a shotgun. It's like playing musical chairs, but a carousel is spinning, and then nobody knows when it's gonna stop, and then you see the shotgun come down, and all of a sudden it stops on you, and then bam, and then there's just a dead body sitting there, and then it spins around again. Like, that's funny, man.
That's funny. You have problems, sir.
I mean, I think if anything has been established over these first 200 episodes is that Terrence gives no fucks, and Micah is a deeply disturbed individual.
All right.
So that is it for new stuff, new releases this week. So let me pass it over to Terrence with our headlines for the week.
Oh shit! Wait, sorry about that. All right, look, it's hot. I can't think straight.
Vintage dense pixels.
200 episodes. Still don't know when it's my turn. Headlines: Microsoft is only going to put out 4K updates for games for Xbox One X. Okay.
I mean, this is a good thing considering that the 4K update file for, or like the 4K install for Forza 7, as they mentioned in the story, is 100 gigabytes.
Yeah, man, that's a lot. That's a real lot.
Like, it doesn't seem worth it to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, it's fine, but I want it to run in 60 frames. Well, Forza always runs at 60 frames.
Mhm.
I want every fucking game to run at 60. Like, that's just what I want.
Like,
Well, you
it's
get
not,
a PC and you run 144 frames per second, which what the fuck? But yeah, no.
it's not as if games look bad now, right? Like, I would much rather have, like you said, higher frame rate than something that looks so realistic it will, you know, it's there's still an uncanny valleyness to, you know, visuals, no matter how good you make them look, unless it's something like a racing game, you know.
Yeah, and they're cars.
Right. But
They've looked really good for years.
exactly. Like, I don't need and it's 100 gigs. Like, what? So what? I can have 5. Yeah, even your cat is like,
I know, you can't believe it either.
Fucking crazy.
like, I want to be able to put more than 5 games on my console. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, 1 terabyte. That's 10 games. If these things are gonna be fucking 100 gigs a piece, like what is it? Halo 5 with all the content is one of the games that you can get with the free pass. That's just 98 gigs. Fuck that. I was like, oh shit, let me download this and try to play it. And then I saw 98 gigs. I was like, let's not.
You would think that if they knew this was going to be a thing, like, it's cool that they up the memory on the One X, that it's 1 terabyte by default, but
that's bullshit.
maybe more. You know what I mean?
Needs to be like
how it is.
Because those games are going to take. First of all, they're going to take forever to download. Like, that might make people go back to fucking buying digital copy. I mean, buying like actual copies.
It doesn't matter whether you buy it on disc or not. It's still the same download.
No, it's on. No, if you actually buy the game, a physical copy, it doesn't take as long.
Oh, it doesn't
Like,
take as long because you're installing it directly off the disc, but it's still the amount of install is the same because it installs the whole thing.
Yeah, but it's less time.
Well, yeah.
Like, it's gonna take like 3 hours to download fucking 100 gigs.
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about space. I ain't trying to have 5 hard drives hooked up to my goddamn Xbox.
And you put an external in there?
I have an external on my Xbox.
Yeah, I have a 2. What do you have? Like a 4 terabyte on there?
Yeah, I had a 4 terabyte.
I have a 2, and that thing is full.
I'm at 2. I have like maybe 170 games, and it's at 63% full.
Damn.
Man, see, it's so funny because I don't have an external for my PS4, but it's still only at like half capacity because I just delete shit that I'm not playing.
I had to do that the other day. I had to do that for some dumb reason, and I'll probably blame Demetrius, but PlayStation has a sale, and God of War 3 was $4. And I'm like, oh, all right, let me spend $4 on God of War 3, right? And because he cosplayed as Kratos, I'm like, I kind of missed that game. And then I started playing it, and I finished the first boss. I killed Poseidon, and I was like, fuck, like, I don't want to play this anymore. But I had to start. They were like, oh, you can't install it. And I'm like, why the fuck can't I install this game? And they were like, and then I checked my storage, and it was full, and I have 2 terabytes. And they were like, nope, sorry, you're full. You got to delete a bunch of shit that you don't need anymore. So I go to my library. I'm like, what the fuck? Why do I have Zombie downloaded? The Ubisoft zombie game. And why do I have
Wii shit?
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Why do I have this shit?
It must have been a free game that they put out.
It had to have been, because I know I black out sometimes when I buy shit. But I know good and hell well I didn't buy Zombie. or whatever, however you pronounce it.
Zombie, we'll call it.
Zombie. Damn that. But yeah, I had to delete a bunch of stuff, man. So I'm at that point now.
100 gigs is a lot of fucking space. If it ain't Destiny, I don't know if it's worth it. Sorry.
Destiny is like 30 gigs. So add 70 gigs and you got Halo 5. What the fuck is on Halo 5 that's 100 gigs? Nothing.
A bunch of nothing because Halo 5 stinks.
The strong take.
Yeah, like, did it get critical acclaim?
Oh no.
I know they have like
one of the worst rated Halo games recently.
Right. I know they have those tournaments, but that's because Microsoft is fucking sponsoring them, and people won $100,000 or some whatever.
Well, I mean, the 90 gigs is all the free multiplayer maps. That's what it is. I mean, because all the DLC for that game is given to you.
Oh yeah, it's all free, but like, nah, I ain't 40 gigs worth of shit because I believe the shit was like 60 when it came out. 40 gigs worth of free shit, I don't believe it. The game don't even look that fucking good in multiplayer either. Like, it just doesn't. I don't get it. But that's how all of these games are going to be, and that's ridiculous. And those are just cars,
right?
Like, imagine the other shit that's gonna no, man. 4K doesn't seem worth it at this point. I gotta buy a 12 terabyte hard drive just to have 10 games on there. That's ridiculous. Next up, what is this? Sony pulls a game that exists only to provide Platinum Trophy from the PlayStation Store.
This was the source of a bit of kerfluffle last week. So, for those that don't know, PlayStation's approval process, and especially as it's centered around achievements or trophies rather in their games, it's not the best. So this game came up the last week, and it's called 5-Star 1,000 Top Rated, which is a game that you can literally get a platinum trophy in 20 minutes. And the game solely exists to advertise for this website that makes PS4 themes that you can purchase and download onto your PS4. But they made this game, which is just like a tile shifting game, so that you can get a it's like a tile shifting image game, like a puzzle game of sorts. But they literally advertised in the description, hey, this is the fastest platinum trophy that you can get on the PS4. And they sold this thing for 98 cents. Now, Sony allowed it to show up on the PlayStation Store and allowed it to have a platinum trophy. There are some like legit games on the DLC side of things on PS4 and PS3 that don't have platinum trophies, but this steaming pile of shit has a platinum trophy. And then once there was some uproar about it, Jim Sterling in particular posted a video on his YouTube channel where he talked about that it's basically like a steaming pile of dung that this thing exists. Sony then pulled it off the store. It'll be back though. It'll be back once it gets patched because they just don't want it advertised as like a trophy hoarding game essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of shit though. But I guess my question is to you guys, should this matter? Should it make a difference?
It shouldn't, to be perfectly honest with you. If you know what you're getting into and you're willing to pay for it, I guess I wouldn't run my business like that. I would, I wouldn't let any 98-cent whore just come into my yard. You know what I mean? But I look, I don't know. I remember I used to be like that, right? I used to want to get like a bunch of platinums and shit and build up my trophy count. Like eventually it doesn't matter. Like you come to the realization once you get to like level 10 that it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. So I don't know. Should they have taken it off? I don't think they should have taken it off, but at the same time,
they're the ones that let it on in the first place.
Right. Like that, right. Like that goes to show that they don't care. But in the future, I would curate what you put on there a little better.
What is this? Is this like just a puzzle game?
It is literally just like a shifting,
right?
Like a shifting block image puzzle game. That's all it is. It is. This crosses the line. Like, this isn't a game; it's an advertisement with a platinum trophy. Let's be honest. That's what it is.
I don't care. Like, I was never one to really get into. Like, I've got a lot of gamer score. Like, my gamer score is very high. It would be a lot higher than it was if I didn't get banned. But that's because I just played a lot of games. I never played them just to get the trophies. It just happened. Like, I wouldn't bother with this. Like, if it's 99 cents and you know what it is, you just spent 99 cents on a stupid fucking sliding puzzle game.
Like, I mean, really, anyone that's buying this is spending 98 cents to buy a platinum trophy. Let's be
get a platinum trophy,
let's be
right?
honest.
So, like, why take it off? I mean, aside, did they take it off just because it was advertising something?
They took it off because they didn't want it. They didn't want it in the description that it existed specifically for a platinum trophy, and they didn't want the advertisement for the website to be in the description.
So just take those two things out and just put it back, and you're fine, right?
Right, but then that kind of defeats the purpose of even making the game in the first place at that rate.
Right.
Well, it's not going to have the trophies.
Oh no, it'll still have the trophies, and it'll still probably have the advertisement in the game itself. I would imagine.
That's the same fucking thing. Like, I feel like they just wanted to take the advertisement out. Like, I think they pulled it just because it was advertising something, right?
Pretty much.
Right. So you just take that out, and then you still have a 99-cent platinum trophy.
I don't have a problem with them pulling it. I have more of a problem with them letting it on the store in the first place than I do with them pulling it after the fact. I don't mind you pulling this type of game because you don't want your store to become this. Like, you don't want a bevy of companies that are making non-games to put on the store that just happen to have a platinum trophy attached to them just to get people to buy trophies, which is first of all, it's the stupidest thing that you could do, considering that they offer no tangible benefits in the first place. But like I said, this always kind of goes back to the issue. It's why I don't have a problem. It's why I didn't have a problem with Steam closing the Greenlight program either, because I think that Portal should have a little bit of control over what gets out there. Now, Sony has shown, this is one of the things I would hugely knock about. Sony has shown over the years they don't give a shit. They've put out like this article specifically that we're sourcing from this talks about that game Life of Black Tiger, which came out a few months back, which is just a literal shitbag game that is buggy and gross and crappy and not something that you should want associated with the PlayStation 4. Like, I get being a haven for like independent developers and independent games to release, but have some standards, you know what I mean? Don't just let any old piece of trash come out there. And that's one thing I will give Microsoft is it seems like at least now, and I don't even remember that even on Xbox 360, where it was like a bevy of crap coming out of the console.
They used to. I remember there used to be some sort of program that now they designed the program so that the cream rises to the top. But I remember there was some sort of like Xbox Live, like arcade program where just whatever garbage you wanted to put up there was up there. You just had to dig for it. It wasn't like in your face. And I've never heard of this game. I don't know if it's if it's like in your face, but look, for this particular example, like, it's up there, it's done. But like, let's not do it again. Like, let's be a little more, like you said, let's have a little bit of pride, guys. You don't want to, this is what Nintendo did with the Wii. Anyone who had a Wii dev kit could make a freaking game.
Oh, I was so there was a very small blog that I used to freelance for way back in the day. Just wrote a few reviews and stuff like that. And I remember they sent me this Wii game, this Wii Shop game, which was basically like Super Monkey Ball, but you had to use like the Wii remote to tilt this marble around this like maze course.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing couldn't have taken more than 45 minutes to develop. based on the quality that the game was. And that like you nailed it on the head. That is not what you want
Right.
for your console.
What does the easiest platinum or 1,000 you got from a legit game? Mine was Terminator Salvation. All you had to do was beat the game, like
On hard difficulty, if I recall.
Whatever, right? Like you had to beat it on hard difficulty. Every level was a gold trophy. And all you had to do was just finish it, and then bam, platinum. And yes, I rented that game specifically to get that platinum. That was the low point in my trophy whoredom, because I had to sit through that piece of shit.
What was that? What's that show? For the Xbox 360. What's the cartoon? The Airbender, The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, that was a very easy platinum trophy to get. All you had to do was basically beat that game also, and just mash the punch button for like 15 minutes, and you get a platinum trophy. I mean, or you get 1,000 gamer score. I didn't even do that.
You did?
No, I never played it.
Ah.
But I heard that was like the easiest 1,000 gamer score to get. I'd never just like, it's fun when you see that little thing pop up. Achievement, what is it? And then you see, oh, you turn the game on. That's cute. But I never really gave a fuck. I don't care if you want to buy a game just to get platinums or 1,000, whatever. I don't think it's a big deal for them to have a bunch of trash on their store, because I'm not gonna buy it.
I think it's a big deal when it clutters up, when it takes the attention away from the good games that are on the store. If you're going to have trash, at least have a curating system that's better to feature the stuff that is good, and not like the trash be relegated to where you have to seek it out instead of it being presented to you.
Like they don't have like a showcase where, hey, this is a like
they do, but it's just whatever the new releases are. It doesn't really. It's curated from that. It's not like top rated games in the store. Like, it just here's what's new this week. Like, that's kind of what they show. And the PlayStation Store really isn't designed well in the first place. I know we've talked about that on the show.
That thing is garbage.
The platinum one for me is there's a game on the Vita that came out called Sound Shapes, which is actually a very good rhythm platform game. And I actually went through that, and the platinum trophy wasn't difficult, but it was easier than most. Like, there were these challenge stages that you had to beat, and those were difficult to do. But once you beat them, you got a silver trophy for each one, and I got a platinum. Now, what they did for the game is they also released the game on PS3 and PS4, and you could sync your save file across all three versions of the game. But each game had its own unique trophy list, and when you synced your save file, it popped all the trophies in that version of the game that you would have earned. So I have 3 platinum trophies from Sound Shapes just by crossing my save file to PS3 and PS4.
That don't make no damn sense.
And they don't usually do it that way either. Usually you have to there's usually 2 separate trophy lists, but you usually have to earn them in the game to get them. But this was one of the few exceptions that lets you do it differently.
That don't make no damn sense.
I wasn't complaining, so
that's probably why you have a higher trophy count than I do.
I would agree.
That's a shame. Next up, the hell is Guardian Kind? Okay, Guardian Kind raises over 100 million. Oh, well, there you go. I should have read this before. For St. Jude's. What the fuck is Guardian Kind? Oh, this is for
it's a Destiny convention.
Oh. Began as a small meetup for several Twitch streamers. It raised $560,000 for St. Jude's in 2016. And it raised 1.2 million this year. It actually started, I guess it was this past weekend. That's cool.
It was. They also had Bungie there showing off some Destiny 2 stuff, which we'll actually talk about here shortly a second. But that's pretty cool, man, especially for an event that is still a very small beginnings.
I'm telling you, man, this community, the Destiny community it's
an anomaly, man.
It is.
It really is. People actually like to help you.
Yeah, man.
People like to shepherd you through fucking raids. It's very bizarre. I don't like it. I haven't, and I have enough people calling me nigga on that game. It feels weird.
You said not enough people. I was like, wait, that doesn't very
right, exactly. Very weird. But no, that's really fucking cool, man. Like, I somehow has brought decent people together.
Yeah, man.
They've been playing it for fucking 3 years or 4 years. I don't know how long this goddamn game's been out. Pretty crazy.
Like,
and now they're helping sick kids. Goddamn.
Yo, what other convention is doing that? Like, literally any other convention. Like, the sick kids convention isn't raising this kind of money for a bunch of sick kids.
I don't know, man. Good
like,
on these guys.
The shit is bizarre to me, man. The shit is bizarre. Good for them. You go into a Guardian Con, or you don't really care?
For me?
Yeah.
No, I don't go to cons. Bother me.
Why is that?
Because people don't know how to act. Like, they don't know how to, like, say excuse me when they run into you. They just don't pay attention to where they're walking. Nah, man, I don't like cons, and it's too many people.
If you ever want to get laid and you're a nerd out there, go to a fucking anime convention. Good God. Yo, you will have your first orgy if you go to an anime convention and you are single. Because those kids, they get their freak on at those things because nobody else likes them. You know what I mean? So they go with a bunch of like-minded people and they're all horned up and they're all staying in a hotel. Like, yo, Katsucon might as well be Chlamydia Con.
I was wondering why you kept going to Otakon every year, because you're not that big of an anime fan.
No, I'm not. The fuck no, I'm not gonna do it at Otakon. But yo, you go to like a rave or something, and them kids, man, they just, the problem is you got to be real careful when it comes to them kids, because some of them are kids. And you gotta watch that shit, man. You got to do an ASL check, like you used to do on AOL. Just age, sex, location. Who are you? Let me see some ID before I even think about dancing with you. And get out of here, man.
You're treading this very bizarre line between like early 20s horny guy and dad right now. Like you're merging into the middle of those two for some reason.
I'm trying. Look, my birthday is next week, so I'm trying to hold on to what little youth I have, but at the same time, like, I'm an old black man, and I get it. So yeah, just be careful out there, kids.
I went to Otakon one time. Like it at all. It was.
That's probably the understatement of the year.
Like, I was in the game.
Guys, guess what? The sky is blue. I didn't know if you guys knew that, since we're going around talking about things that everybody knows.
It was very strange. Like, there were kids running around with big swords and shit. Like, there was this really fine ass fucking Dead or Alive cosplayer though. Good Lord. She was a black chick too. Okay. Yeah, it was, but that was the highlight. I was in the game room the whole time and I was playing like Gears of War or some shit like that. I don't know. And then I went to like one of those anime rooms where they sell anime. And I'm like, I don't like any of this. And I left. My brother let me use his pass because he used to go. He's a big fucking anime nerd. It's not for me at all. Like, I wanted to throw those kids through the fucking window because, again, they don't know how to fucking walk around and say excuse me. They just walk around like they don't have shit to do, and gross. I don't like that place.
I mean, if Terrence is going to drop bombshells on the show, I can drop a bombshell too, guys. I don't know if you know, I prefer PlayStation 4 to Xbox One.
Look, I don't like a lot of crowded places. They bother me. And we got a bunch of weird kids in anime costumes that just expound on the I don't even think it's a word.
It's a disaster cocktail for you.
Yeah, it's like that'll make me turn violent.
Well, you don't have to.
Con that I went to was in the Baltimore Otakon. I mean, like Baltimore Comic Con, and someone bumped. I was with someone, and they bumped into them. They didn't even realize it. I almost, it was a thing. I was like, "Yo, you didn't feel that nigga bump into you?" Like, nah. Like he literally just bumped all the way into you, and he didn't even say, "Excuse me." I was about to put his head.
Probably his way of trying to cop a feel. Yeah, be careful, ladies. There's a lot of perverts out there.
Yeah, there's plenty. Take it from a pro. I'm not talking about myself. And
we can move on.
God damn it. I got an ad blocker on. I can't read the fucking.
I'll get it because I turned my ad blocker off so I could get to the damn Forbes article. Fuck you, Forbes. trying to make money and shit off your website. You jerks. Make sure to go to densepixels.com/Amazon. Destiny 2 is coming out in just a couple of months. One of the big changes, though, that they announced recently is that there are going to be no more random weapon rolls on the different weapons that are in the game. The example that they used, there's a hand cannon in the game called the Better Devils that comes with a Crucible perk, and every version of that hand cannon is going to have that same Crucible perk on it. No longer do you have to go after the same weapon over and over and over and over again to find like a god roll or a roll that works well for what you want it to. And they did this because of game balance. They did it because now instead of tweaking an entire class of weapons, they can just tweak individual guns to balance them out. And they did say that they are working on a method to make that, 8th, 9th, 10th time that you get that weapon, of interest to you, which is going to be curious to see how they do that. But Terrence in particular, and Micah as well, what do you guys think about no random rolls for Destiny 2?
Well, I already said I'm not playing Destiny 2, so I don't give a fuck.
Well, humor us if you were. What would your thoughts be on this?
It's weird. I guess, are they going to have different levels to the gun? Is that how they're going to balance it out?
They've not. They've not mentioned that yet.
Like, I feel like the only way you can make it any different if it's going to be the same roll every time is just the attack level. Like, as you level up your character, the attack level increases.
But wouldn't you prefer it this? Wouldn't you prefer it this way because all kills would be based on skill, or more kills would be based on skill? Like, if you have, yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, in the first one, like the main things were like impact and like speed, right? Like, I don't think they had many perks that were like specific. Like, all the other perks were like PvE perks, but you always wanted to have like the best impact and like as far as like a hand cannon, you wanted like high impact, but at the same time slightly more speed so you can let off more rounds, and accuracy. Like, those are the three main things. Like, it was just power. So I don't really, I guess if it's all the same gun, it will be skill. Some people are incredibly good. They have incredible aim. Some people have really good internet because this is still a peer-to-peer game.
Which is
a problem.
Bizarre to me, but
right. That's a big problem. Like, because peer-to-peer sucks. Like, right? Like, most people don't have internet to handle fucking 12 people in a match.
Right.
And it kind of fucked up a lot of PvP. Like,
I mean, what if like one gun has what if one gun has, it's the same gun, but one has constant radar and the other one doesn't? Like, that's not fair, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, but I didn't do a whole. Well, actually, towards the end, I started doing a lot of PvP because in the beginning, I was absolutely horrible at have PvP in this game, and I kind of figured out how the game worked. But yeah, but the thing is that also takes away from the grind that people liked about the game. They grinded to get that perfect weapon.
I think there's I think there's a different type of grind that they're hoping to get, like the collection, because there's the good grind, which is like I want an incredible arsenal, right? And then there's the bad grind where it's like, well, fuck, I gotta keep grinding to get this one thing that I keep getting over and over again. Like it's the definition of insanity. And that's not a good grind in my opinion. Like there were ways that you can mitigate that, but it cost you, right? Like it cost you certain items that you had to buy that you had to either get while grinding or spend motes on to Xur to try and re-roll and hope that you get something good. I mean, look, the only happy medium I can think of is all exotics are standard, no matter what. But all those purple guns go crazy. I mean, I guess. Or like flip-flop it, because not a lot of people have exotics.
Yeah.
So make exotics the ones that you have to, try and keep getting a decent roll for, and let all the purple guns have, just be the same. I don't know, but I'm not mad at it at all. Like, if you get a gun that you see somebody else has and you have it and you like it, and all of a sudden, you see some shit that they have, and it's like, what the fuck? Plus, it also mitigates on the whole, well, that dude killed me, he must be cheating, like he got a god roll and that's it. No, buddy, you just stink. You just suck.
Yeah, I never really got into the rolling of weapons. Like every time I did re-roll a weapon, it always came out shittier than it did the first time.
Right.
I don't think I ever re-rolled a weapon.
I re-rolled a couple and it was just like, this is fucking.
It's a waste of time. And I guess I get people like, if you're just like, oh, well, what reason do I have to do the raids if I'm just going to get the same gun over and over again? And I see that side of it. Yeah, but I agree with Micah that I think having a more like a collection aspect, like I always thought it was bizarre when people would have literally like 5 of the same gun sitting in their vault just because it had one perk that was slightly different than all the other versions of that gun that they use in a very specific circumstance. Like, and this way you could theoretically have more weapons and you could have those weapons be specialized in certain situations. Now, the caveat to that is if you're going to do this and you're going to have certain guns be better for Crucible and certain guns be better for PvE modes and certain guns be better for whatever, give us the option to do loadouts for these characters, please.
Yeah.
Please. It's the one thing that Diablo 3 added that was a huge ad for that game that makes complete sense.
Right. There's a bunch. Yeah, that game, they've added so much to fucking Diablo 3. It's insane. Like I downloaded the Necromancer for $15. I think it's fun.
Is that game worth buying? It's on. I think it's still on sale.
Oh fuck yeah! Are you kidding?
But Diablo 3?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I don't know how many hours I put into Diablo 3. My
all right.
Character is Paragon 880. Some of that was a item someone gave me, and I was like, oh shit, I'm leveling up way too fucking fast. And so I took it off, but like a lot of it was just me just playing the hell out of that game. Like I already have my Necromancers all the way up to level 65 already.
65.
And I got 70 levels, and then you got Paragon levels. It's just
I would say when you got those Paragon levels already attached, it's real easy to
set everything up to 100 and just run through. I'm on master. I got to like master level in like 30 minutes. I'm just running through the game, just doing like riffs and shit. It's a fun game, man. And the Necromancer is really fun to play. But back to Destiny 2. What would be the point in doing a raid repeatedly if you're just going to get the same fucking gun?
Because the raid is fun.
Yeah, it's fun. You can shepherd people. You can get that gun, break it down to have like what are those green things called? that you break up exotics.
Oh, the
for.
exotic shards, yeah.
Yeah. Like there's like you can use it, you can do it to farm, right? Like you can do it to farm materials.
Yeah, raids take hours.
I get it.
I'm not
I get it.
Fuck that. No.
I get it, but at the same time, what's the point of doing that raid, getting that gun, and then there's a 50% chance that gun is going to be worse than the gun you already have? I would be fucking pissed. Like if I know that I'm going to get the same thing, and I'm that means I'm doing the raid because I want to do the raid. If I'm doing this shit and it feels like work, and then they're like, "Hey, good job. Here's your paycheck minus 70% for Uncle Sam." Nah, man, I'm gonna be fucking mad. So I mean, I get it. Like I understand the trepidation, but at the same time, I think it's a good idea.
I mean, I guess as long as you get other extra shit, like I guess at the end of the raid, if you get the same gun, that's fine. But if I'm getting the same shit throughout the entire raid, fuck that. I'm gonna do that shit one time and be done with it.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
If I like the raid to begin with, and then like if you're going to have the same guns, let me customize it, as in like look wise. If it's gonna be the same fucking thing, let me customize the look of it.
I mean, that's something they will add, or maybe that's the thing they'll do that'll be random is they'll have random appearances,
like colors and shit.
Sure,
and that would be fine. Like I wouldn't have a problem with that, but I actually would like to customize the look of my gun. If I'm gonna have the same gun as everybody else and it's gonna have the exact same stats, let me make it look different.
So apparently, whatever solution they do come up with, they said is not gonna be ready at launch though. So we'll have to wait and see. Well, I mean, you know how this game goes. Destiny in particular.
Yeah, it'll be shit that first year, and then all of a sudden, like, whoa, it's like a brand new game.
You guys, let me know how it is.
Okay.
You know what? You know what? I hope you don't get it. I hope you don't get it, and it's the best game in the world.
Well, that's not gonna happen, but.
Which part is not going to happen?
Oh, it's being the best game in the world.
Okay,
I'm sure it'll be marginally better than the first one. That is my hot take. Marginally better than the first one. At the end of its run. Well, it's still going on, but I haven't played it in months. So,
are you guys going to do Last Iron Banner next month?
The what?
The Last Iron Banner.
I might boot it up for old time's sake. Then
probably not. No.
And then see how bad I am, and then just be like, all right, forget this. Bring on the beta.
Well, that'll be post beta actually.
Oh, it's post. When is the beta?
Beta starts on July. Well, for you, it starts on July 20th. For me, it starts on July 18th.
Bam.
So
wait, what? Wow.
Xbox owners have to wait 2 days, buddy.
Fuck.
Sorry.
You got to pre-order
this game.
You do. You do. I got you, Terrence. I got you. Don't worry about it.
No. He said he don't want to play it. No, he ain't playing
it. I didn't even know the beta was coming out. I honestly don't care. Like it's got. You can give it to somebody. You can give it to a fan.
There you go.
It ain't bother me any. Like I don't think I'm gonna buy it.
But why? You played Destiny 1
I don't know much. I played enough of it.
Interesting.
I'm old, man. I'm old. I don't have any. I'm just kind of like whatever. It is what it is at this point. I'm very selective at this point.
I can tell you this: when
all of my money.
I can tell you this. When Terrence does eventually buy Destiny 2,
it's not gonna happen. See, you keep saying that shit. I have an incredible resolve. Don't say that shit because I will never
resolve. Resolve. That's old black man speak for pettiness.
You're right. Sorry, I'll tell you. I can be incredibly petty, and I will not buy it just out of fucking spite because you think I'm going to. I can do it. Don't test me. Anyway,
when Terrence does get around to buying Destiny 2, the chances are better than average that he's going to go to densepixels.com/Amazon to make that Destiny 2 purchase.
You need to shut your mouth if you want this goddamn money. That's all I'm saying. Because
because not only could he buy a physical copy of the game from Amazon, but he could also buy Xbox Live store credit that he could then use to purchase that game on the Xbox Marketplace if he prefers a digital copy. What a steal. And the best part is when he does that, he's going to pay the same low Amazon.com price that he would normally pay for that item, but a small contribution to that gets given to the Dense Pixels podcast that we use to pay for things like hosting and equipment that we need to keep the show going. So again, densepixels.com/Amazon for all purchases big and small that you make from Amazon.com. Like right. Destiny 2.
Which one of you is going to play Diablo with me?
Terrence will probably play it more with you than I will.
I would honestly play it with you if
you would play it with me because it's $40.
Because it's $40.
Yeah,
for the whole thing.
For the whole thing.
Like I could literally just shepherd you through and like crank your character up to level fucking 30 in no time. You just sit in the corner.
Buy this thing.
He doesn't even have to sit in the corner because of the way that they do. Leveling in the game.
How do they do that?
So if he goes into your game, it'll artificially boost his stats to match your level, but he'll still earn XP as if he's whatever level he's at.
Oh damn.
It's really cool. Like I was able to get my wife, like when Emma and I started playing, I was like a level 35, I think, and her character was starting from scratch, and she was within 3 levels of me within like 2.5 hours of playing. Yeah, it's no joke. the way they set that game up.
Is super fun. I haven't actually played with a lot of people. Most of it has been by myself, and it's still fun. But yeah, I'd
love to play with you, Micah. But I'm just being honest. Terrence will be on there way more than I will, for sure.
All right, I think I'm about to buy it if my card doesn't get declined.
Well, while Micah's sweating bullets, I will
declined on the PlayStation 4 because fuck that nonsense. Whatever, fuck that.
Oh, I think it worked. All right.
Anyway,
I think it worked. All right. E3 happened. That was a thing. And Nintendo and Mario have dominated the E3 2017 Games Critics Awards. So there were a bunch of... So the Games Critics Awards are awards given to games and from like different game publishers, IGN and GameSpot and Polygon and all those types. And the top 3 awards all went to Nintendo Switch titles. So Super Mario Odyssey won Best of Show like a dog. It won Best Console Game, and the Best Original Game went to Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which is a Mario / Rabbids like tactical RPG, which
it's a turn-based strategy game. It's XCOM with Mario, basically.
Yeah, wasn't expecting that at all.
Nobody was. and more to the point, nobody was expecting it to be good. That's the other kicker there.
Right. So Nintendo led all publishers with 4 awards out of 5 nominations in 17 categories. The company's one loss came from Best Fighting Game, where ARMS was defeated by Dragon Ball Z Fighter, or Dragon Ball Fighters Z.
How do you pronounce it? Really? Dragon Ball Fighters.
Right.
It's just Dragon Ball Fighters. But really, look. I swear to fucking God, if ARMS would have beat out Dragon Ball Fighters, I'd have set something on fire.
I gotta tell you, man, Marvel vs. Capcom really just bad luck on their part to have a shitty reveal alongside that game getting announced.
Arc Systems was just like, fuck you. We're gonna do it, and we're going to do it better. We're gonna have 3-on-3, just like you used to, Capcom. What happened? What'd you do?
I have some concerns with this list. For example, why is there a category for best hardware / peripheral? And what else would have won besides the Xbox One X? It was literally the only major new piece of hardware shown off at the event.
Well, did Microsoft win any other of these? Any other awards?
Forza Motorsport 7 won Best Racing Game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they could have been satisfied with that.
And let's see what else we have here.
Do they expect new hardware at every E3?
That's my question. Like, why is that even an award?
That's bizarre to me.
It is bizarre. Not a ton of surprise. I guess I'm a little surprised to see Ni no Kuni 2 get best role-playing game.
I mean, I'm not surprised. What else was there?
I mean, technically Destiny 2.
No,
you could put it in that category.
Destiny's not an RPG, man.
That's like putting The Martian in for best comedy, so it can.
That happened. That is still the most bizarre. That's so weird. And that wasn't even the Oscars. That was
the Golden Globes.
The Golden. What kind of weird was that? Funny? Because I didn't see it.
It wasn't. It was. I mean, there were parts where Matt Damon was charming, but it wasn't funny, and it certainly wasn't a musical. So, fuck you, Golden Globes.
Also, what exactly is best original game? Does that just mean like best new IP?
I think that's what that means.
Okay,
best new IP.
I guess I don't have as many qualms with this list as I thought.
I mean, look at what was shown. Like this E3 wasn't the best.
I didn't watch.
And there really wasn't a lot to best sports game. All right, it's either going to be soccer or football or
basketball.
Nobody likes basketball. They all claim to like basketball. Nobody really likes basketball.
Look, I'm just happy that they didn't combine sports and racing like they normally do for these fucking things, like the VGA does. Jeff Keighley, what are you doing? Don't combine sports and racing because the racing team's always going to win,
right? Because
they're just better produced. So it warms the cockles of my heart that FIFA 18 took home best sports game.
That word cockles bothers me. I don't know why.
More or less than the word moist.
Moist doesn't. I like moist. Moist doesn't bother me. That's other people that bothers. I don't have a problem with moist. Moist cake.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's what you think of. Hidden Agenda.
I think what the fuck Hidden Agenda is. What is that?
We talked about that earlier. That's the new game from the Until Dawn guys. That's like the couch play game. Kind of like I think those play games are supposed to be sort of similar to like the Jackbox series.
I don't know what that is either.
Mike knows what that is.
You ever play you don't know Jack?
I do know Jack. He's a swell guy.
he is, but do you play the game? You don't know Jack. It's a game show. It's a trivia game show. It's very, very I think it's funny, so you would think it's dumb.
I'm in your camp with that. I like the brand of humor that those games provide.
That was an interesting assessment. I would think it's dumb.
Yes,
I never played it. No, I know what it is, but I've never played it. Like, is it like Cards Against Humanity? Because that's fucking dumb.
No,
it's not like it's much smarter than Cards Against Humanity is.
Oh my god, I can't. Like, Cards Against Humanity is a crime against humanity. Like, it is the worst game. It's the worst game ever, and I guarantee you, just a bunch of drunk frat dudes just wanted to play Mad Libs, and they were like, "Dude, we should just put all this stuff on a card, a bunch of cards, and then sell it." Fucking jerks.
I don't think you're very far off with that assessment either, by the way.
Yeah, I wanted to make some sort of political joke with the game Hidden Agenda, but it's not coming to me, so I'm moving on. So a voice actor by the name of where's his name?
Well, okay, so you're gonna have a field day with this one.
Whoa, Keith.
I think it's Keith.
What are you, black?
I think it's Keith, but it is. But if you were to,
let me see his name before you.
If you were to phonetically pronounce it, it would be Keitha.
Keitha Farley.
Keitha Farley.
Like, wait, what? What do you want to do to that guy? I want to Keitha Farley. A voice actor by the name of Keith Farley received an
Lakeith
email from him.
Stanfield. That's a weird name. Anyway,
That is a weird name. Basically, this guy is a voice actor, and he got an email about a job, and he didn't know what it was for, because when you're a voice actor, you're not necessarily supposed to know what it's for. Like I've been taking some voice acting classes and learning a little bit about the business, and they're like, look, one of the things they say is it's not your job to memorize a script, and it's not your job to necessarily know what you're doing. Your job is to go in there, take direction, and act based off of that direction, which is why some voice acting is really good and some voice acting is really, really bad. Either because the person who is acting doesn't know what they're doing, doesn't know what the character is, or is given poor direction. But this dude, he got an email from his agent say, hey, I got you a gig for this video game. You're going to play an off-camera principal performer, which means VO. And the guy didn't know what it was, but it's a gig, right? And it turns out that this gig was actually the voice of Kellogg in Fallout 4. For those of you who haven't played Fallout 4, Kellogg is one of the early antagonists. When you and your family go into the vault, Kellogg kills your spouse. So it's like a hefty role for like the beginnings of the game. And this article that we have is I'm quoting, this raises a couple of interesting points regarding the fact that this dude didn't know what he was reading for. What does an actor need to know when working on a project, and when exactly do they need to know it? I don't know. I find this stuff very, very interesting, especially in trying to, kind of explore what this stuff really does. Like, on the one hand, if you sign an NDA and you got to trust your producer, because your producer is the one that's telling you what to say and how to say it, what type of inflections. They're the one giving you direction. So it's like, all right, it's just a gig. You don't necessarily need to know everything about what you are reading for, especially if it's something like what we have in Fallout, which, while Fallout is a big game, Kellogg is not exactly like you're not like one of the sidekicks, that you kind of play with throughout the thing, right? Like, you don't need to know everything, but at the same time, like something like a Commander Shepard, I feel like you would need to know what you're reading for, because you are the star, and you are, your performance is incredibly significant to the story. So I don't know. I've been rambling. What do you guys?
Well, this is this kind of goes to one of the heart of one of the issues that the ongoing voice actor strike is getting to. And it's one thing to, want to know the character better so that you can give a better performance. It's also another thing to know what game you're working on so you can negotiate your deal more effectively. So, like, they actually quoted Phil LaMarr, and for those of you that don't know, Phil LaMarr is a longtime voice actor, very popular voice actor.
If you've watched anything, Phil LaMarr is in it. Like, that's how prolific this guy is.
Like, he's done a ton of games. He was the voice for Samurai Jack. He was the voice of
the voice of
John
Aquaman
Stewart in Justice League,
and John Stewart in Injustice.
The funny thing about his voice is it's never really that different.
It's never really that different. I'm
Aquaman.
Aquaman.
It's the same. It's the same fucking voice.
Right.
Like, yeah, that's Phil LaMarr. Like, he's not the voice character where you're like, oh shit, that was Phil LaMarr. I couldn't tell. Like, he played the vampire. What was the guy in Vamp? He played, like, he sounds the same.
Yeah,
that's Phil LaMarr.
So
but he's in everything.
So he says, and they quoted him in this article. He says, Imagine if you're working on a game and you don't know if it's an indie title or if it's Activision's 5th series in the tentpole. As the person working on it, there's a big difference in how much you should get paid when you're working out of someone's garage and when you're working for a multi-billion-dollar company. I think it's a fair point. And especially like you'd want to know where that, like, how big of a role is that in the story? Like, are you a main character? Are you just like a character that's only in a couple scenes? You know, like it's important. I feel it should be important to know that information as well. I don't understand how signing, like getting the voice actor to sign an NDA wouldn't be enough cover. I guess if you're negotiating with someone, you don't want to take the chance that you can't strike a deal and then they go out and be like, oh, you know, I turned down a deal to, you know, be in the new unannounced, you know, Mass Effect 5 game that's coming out. Like you don't want that to happen. I guess that's why they don't get all that information. But like once you hire the person for the role, or at least are in deep negotiations for the person for the role, what's the harm in giving them that info? Unless it's to keep your boot on them a little bit as far as salary negotiations go. And maybe it's cynical on their part. It's not about the IP itself, but maybe it is all about money. Who knows?
I think, I mean, that's the only justification I could see, right? Because like you said, there's no reason to not let this person know what they are doing. Well, I don't know. If you're trying to keep something a secret and I don't care how deep into negotiations you are, like you can, until you sign something, like that's it. And you're not going to sign anything until a deal is done. So look, it's a double-edged sword, man. I don't know what the actor can do in order to negotiate blindly, other than the fact that, you know, if you know your voice, if you know who you're acting for, like just start negotiations high. But at the same time, right, like you gotta, if you're a no name, like if you're not a big person in that voice acting business, I mean, you can't necessarily turn down work because you got to hustle to get work. You know what I mean? So I don't know, like a Phil Lamar, like he could ask for whatever he wants because it's Phil Lamar, right? But I don't know, man. The onus is on the people with the power, and that's these publishers.
What would you think? What would you think if they had like a scale? So like when they're writing these scripts, they have like this system. Let's just say there's like 7 different roles, and like number 1 is main character, you know, X amount of lines of dialogue or X amount of words or X number of recording sessions, like something like that. And this is the pay scale for level 1. And then level 2 is like a slightly lesser version. And this is the pay scale for level 2. Like, do you think that might make things easier if they could kind of just categorize these roles so that you don't have to give that information out before signing these deals?
Yeah, if you can estimate the amount of time needed to perform, then yeah, I think that could work. The problem is they don't have to do that because there's always voice acting is like there are literally tons of people who do voiceover.
They're independent contractors, so you can just, okay, this guy won't do it. Okay, I'll go hire this guy for 75% of the price.
Yeah. So there are no shortage of people who are willing to do that work, and they don't care because they're getting work. Like I just want to do something to get my voice out there. So while I think that is the best idea, I don't see it working. I don't see the gatekeepers allowing it to happen because it doesn't behoove them. Like if they want, you can, I understand you want like real talent, but at the same time, you don't need to hire a Nolan North or a Troy Baker. You know how many white dudes sound like white dudes. Like you don't. It's a messy situation, and I completely understand the strike and why it happened, but I just don't know. I just don't know if it's going to work for them.
What's Mass Effect's problem? Because their voice acting is always horrible.
It's
Even
hard.
The main character is terrible.
It's difficult to do. Like imagine like it's I mean, I guess it's difficult if you know, I'm not an actor and I can't draw from any personal experience, but I can't imagine it's difficult to be like, okay, well, this is how you should react if this happens, but then here's another reaction that you can have that's the same situation, but it's there's so many branching paths in that game that I could see where the performance aspect of it would be challenging. That is not a game I don't think that you could hide the role from the performer.
Right. Yeah, no, you like, look, you're going to be the star of this. You don't even have to tell them what it is they're going to be the star of, but I would think that you would have to tell them that this is a starring role, and it is going to strain your voice of all the lines that we have for you to do. Mass Effect, I think Mass Effect's acting is pretty good. The only piece of acting that I don't really care for, at least in those first three, was Mel Shepherd's voice. It wasn't good, and I think it's just because that guy had a weird voice, and some of his delivery sounded weird. But I don't know if it sounded weird because he delivered it wrong, or if because he had this voice. Like it sounded like a robot, man. But if you play female Shepard, like Jennifer Hale fucking rocked it, man. And you can tell differences within the same line. And her voice is, she just sounds like a white woman. But like there's nothing like particularly special about it, but it doesn't sound bad either. It's not harsh on the ear. Whereas I think Mel Shepherd's voice was, but
yeah, his was, and in his voice being incredibly terrible, like it like bled into everyone else. Because I'm like, I hear this nigga all the time block out his terribleness with the rest of the cast. So like everything in that game, as far as dialogue, was terrible to me. Like in all of them, I'm like, God, this is incredibly dialogue heavy, and I can't stand listening to this dude's voice. Then I switched to fucking female chef, and she, like you said, she was fine. But still, I think the stink of his voice still permeated throughout the game, which made everybody else suck. Like, I don't know, man. Like Garrus was fine. Mordin, whatever his name is. Yeah. He was really good. But like, I feel like the majority of the cast, they didn't try. And I don't know if it's because of the lines they had, or just the fact that they had so many different lines they had to deliver in so many different inflections and so many emotions. It just, like, I don't think BioWare does good dialogue at all. They make very good games and the stories are fine, but I don't think their dialogue is good. Just by listening to the dialogue that was in Andromeda, that should sound terrible.
Yeah, some folks, like that one woman, I forget her name. They had to fix her face.
Oh, the bitchy administrator.
Yeah.
She was, my face hurts. Is like,
yeah. She's like,
what kind of line is that?
My face is sore from all the frowning. Like, what? Huh? I didn't like her performance at all. But for the most part, it was definitely the weakest. But I don't know. This is a very interesting article, and I think it gives insight as to why the voice actors had a strike to begin with. Next up, so yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda. There was a report that came out that said that Mass Effect Andromeda is not getting single player DLC. That was a hoax, but apparently that hoax was correct. So a number of outlets are reporting from sources, take that for, what you will, that there will be no single player DLC for Mass Effect Andromeda. And look, I don't know if I called it, but I didn't think there would be, just because of the like lukewarm response. That not even lukewarm, like people just did not like this game for some reason. And I think they're gonna cut their losses, man. Like you still get a couple of multiplayer updates every now and again, but I don't see any single player DLC coming. I believe the sources, and I think it sucks, man, because that game wasn't as bad as everyone made it out to be. It was just different, and people don't like different. They wanted Mass Effect 2 to last forever. And I don't know. What do you think, Brad?
I agree with you. I think they are trying to just cut their losses at this point. It didn't surprise me when this story came out, given both the critical and the fan and the sales reception that the game got. But I tell you this, and BioWare CEO, game directors, look at me. Anthem had better be one of the best fucking games that I've ever played in my entire life. Because if you shit on Mass Effect, if you gave Mass Effect to and I don't mean to demean the development team, but if you gave Mass Effect to like a B-level development team and who still made a good game, I still really like Mass Effect Andromeda, so did Micah. It's a good game. But if you gave arguably your biggest franchise, your tentpole franchise, to a B-level development team, just so that you can make sure that all of your all-stars were working on this brand new connected world in this game that's coming out, Anthem, it better been fucking worth it. And I better love it when it comes out. God damn it.
I mean, they could have made Anthem Mass Effect. Like I don't, and I hate because that's the excuse that all these fucking whiny people are doing now, right? Like, why didn't you just make this Mass Effect? Right, but like you could have done it. You could have.
It would have worked.
It would have worked.
You could have done it. You're right. Because I'm sorry. I mean, we've seen very little of Anthem, and it's not fair of me to cast dispersions on a game that is very still early in the development stage and could change wildly from game to game. But I know you guys are going to agree with me. When you first saw that gameplay trailer at E3 for Anthem, it looked very much like a third-person version of Destiny.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It really did, man. It really, really did.
And I'm sorry.
That's what it is.
It is going to, but I'm saying, but the point is, it is going to be very difficult for them to knock Destiny, not off of my personal perch, but just in general. Like, millions of people regularly play Destiny, and they are trying to tap it. Like, they can say whatever they want as the lead up to this game happens. Like, no, it's a different game, and we're going after a different audience. No. This is going to be going after the same type of player, the same audience, the same pool of players that Destiny has right now. And unless Destiny 2 is a turd, which I doubt, it's an uphill climb.
Right.
It's an uphill climb. They might get the like they want this game to be another Destiny, but you have to look in the wake of Destiny and see The Division. And not that The Division was a flop. It was not a flop. And they've made a lot of strides with that game too, but it ain't Destiny. It ain't.
Yeah, they did like a complete 180 for The Division, but by the time they did it, I was just completely out of it. I just didn't care at that point. And it was all free. Well, not all of it was free. Yeah, they should have made it all free, to be honest with you. But yeah, there's still a hefty group of people that are on my time, that are on my actually Xbox friends list that play it from time to time, and I'm like, how the hell y'all do that? What are you doing? But they play it and they seem to enjoy it. I did something, but I couldn't get back into it. But Anthem, yeah, it looks good. I don't really care one way or another about the Mass Effect DLC because I'm not gonna play it, so it doesn't really affect me any. But it does suck for people that actually did enjoy the game that their beat team isn't going to make any DLC.
And they ended the game in such a way that it's primed for it.
They sure did, man.
It's primed for it. Like not that they left like any thread. I mean, they left some threads hanging that would probably get addressed in a sequel if one gets made. But it was primed for some DLC to expand because you're working with a blank canvas. The world is the universe is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. I'm disappointed.
I am. It sucks. But and look, it is what it is. You know, I can't
They're working on a new Dragon Age though. I know you're happy about that.
Well, I mean, look, if I had my choice, I would prefer a Mass Effect.
Damn right.
Over a new Dragon Age, but I don't know. We'll see.
We will see. That's all for us. That's our show. Make sure that you are in our fan group on Facebook. If you have not joined yet, make sure to go to densepixels.com/fan, especially all you new YouTube kids out there that are stumbling upon this podcast. If you've made it to the end, leave us a 5-star review. Or Terrence will come get you.
Yeah, what are you doing? Come on, man. 200 episodes. Shit. Give us something.
Terrence has a list of every fan group member that has not left us a 5-star review. He's going to start coming to your houses.
I don't want that.
Certainly. You can follow us our main pages on Facebook and Twitter at Dense Pixels. Subscribe to the show. If you're not subscribed, you're also messing up at life. iTunes, Google Play Music, any podcatching service that you use. You can also subscribe from the Podbean app. We're also on Twitch TV. I'm Dense Pixels Brad. Terrence is Apparition 410. Micah is Dense Black Nerd, and Carrie is Suffits Carrie. And of course, our YouTube channel, youtube.com/densepixels. Subscribe while you're there so that you can check out episodes of the show, plus whatever other fun things that we do on YouTube down the road. So this went really well. If you guys watched the video version, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again for the first 200 episodes, and we look forward to all of you guys hanging around for the next 200 episodes of this podcast as well. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself, which is why I didn't. All right, folks. See ya.
See ya.
Take it easy.